Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So let's talk about this man called Trump, the President of the United States of America, and of course his recent threat to a sovereign nation called Nigeria. And it's funny. Sometimes I do wonder how this man became the President of the United States. But then it tells a lot. It tells a lot on how the people from there think and how some are really dumb.
And then they say he left troops in Syria. You know what I did? I left troops to take the oil. I took the oil. The only troops I have are taking the oil. They're protecting the oil.
Okay, and someone made a comment about Donald Trump and said Donald Trump usually acts like a baby, and he tells you the bitter truth. Babies or kids, when you ask them something, they tell you the truth. They don't hide anything, but at the end of the day, you don't really take them seriously. Okay, so he threatened Nigeria, with military invasion and what have you. He claimed that Christians in Nigeria are facing existential threat. Then, as a Nigerian, you begin to ask yourself, existential threat. But the Christians here are very much okay. Nobody is facing any threat. And in fact, we've seen a couple of Christians come online, saying there's no threat to their lives. They are living fine in Nigeria. They just want to live peacefully. That America shouldn't invade. Because even he himself, Donald Trump, knows that Muslims are the victims here. Okay, yes, Nigeria is facing insecurities, and I'm not saying Christians are not being killed, but Muslims are the victim. How do I know? He would ask. One of his special advisor to Donald Trump said, when he was interviewed, he said that we know the Muslims are majorly the victims of Boko Haram and ISWAP. He said, we know. Just take a look at it.
People of all religions and all tribes are dying as a result of terrorist acts. But it's very unfortunate. We even know that Boko Haram and ISIS are killing more Muslims than Christians.
So you see, and this was just a couple of weeks ago. But today we have Trump saying Christians are facing existential threat. There must be a reason to invade a particular country. Look at what's happening in the Caribbean. Recently, just a day ago, this guy, bombed the Caribbean. All in the name of, drugs, fighting drugs and all that. They would do anything just to lay their hands on your wealth, on your natural resources.
So people said to me, why are you staying in Syria? Because I kept the oil. Which, frankly, we should have done in Iraq. Okay?
And Nigeria has them in abundance. Nobody's tapping on this wealth. Why don't we go there, then get our own share, then move out? This is exactly what's happening. And he has to have a reason to invade. Oh, the Christians, they are shouting massacre. And we have really dumb people here. Really dumb people here. Okay, yes, Christians are being killed. We have insecurities. Christians are being killed. But then they made the whole thing seem to be about themselves. Christians are being killed, blah, blah, blah. How many Christians do you see? Even if they show images and all that, videos and all that, how many Christians do you see? And look at the writings on paper. In the last 16 years, they claimed that over 100,000 Christians have been killed. Where are the names? Where are these people buried? In fact, what is even funny is someone said over 18,000 churches were burnt to the ground. And now these are churches from the northern eastern part of Nigeria, where Christians form less than 10% of the population there. So if 18,000 churches were burnt there, then how many churches do you think we have in Nigeria? Remember, the northern part of Nigeria is like, the Muslim area. Then the southern part of Nigeria is, the Christian area. How many churches do we then have in Nigeria? Then we should have like over 100,000 churches, right? But the total amount of churches we have in Nigeria as a whole is not more than between 16 to 16,500 churches. But then somehow over 18,000 churches were burnt in the south, northern eastern part of Nigeria. Who is doing the calculations? Someone that is an IPOP apologist. In my recent video on Christian genocide or generalizing Nigeria, I made it clear that these people are doing it for a reason. It's not as if okay, they really care about the Christians in Nigeria. They are Christians, majorly Christians in the southern part of Nigeria, southern eastern part of Nigeria. But they don't really care because these same people kill themselves recklessly.
We are sending money to you people. You don't want. Hey, come again. Come here. Don't cry. First time. Today is 14th of April. Today is 14th of April. Today is 14th of April. You have given them a warning. We don't want any election. We don't want any election. Today is 14th of April. No more election. No more protest start. Do you think we are here to joke? Do you think we are here to joke? Look at them. This is their boss. This is the boss. Today is 14th of April. We have given them a warning. We have given them a warning. We don't want any more election. We don't want any more election. Next time, we are going to set this place in place. You think we are joking?
We have videos of these people killing themselves recklessly, all in the name of these guys don't support their quest for Biafra, their quest to separate from Nigeria, their quest to get independence. And if they perceive that from you, they immediately kill you. So these are the same people pushing the narrative that Christians are being killed. And you see now that these people have no moral standing to push this narrative. But again, they have their reasons. They want to gain independence. How would you do this? They've tried years back, okay? They plotted a coup and it failed woefully. Then they started the first civil war in Nigeria, 1967, just barely 7 years after independence. And this civil war lasted for 3 good years before they finally surrendered because they were overwhelmed. They surrendered, they gave up, and Nigeria took them back in. But then the quest for, gaining their independence never died. When they realized that it's going to be difficult for them to be either the president of Nigeria because we no longer trust those people, the Igbos from the southeastern part of Nigeria. We know for sure that they are one of the major tribes in Nigeria. After the Hausas, then we have the Yorubas, then the Igbo. We've seen presidents, coming from the Hausas. We've seen president coming from the Yorubas. In fact, the current president is a Yoruba man. Okay, but we've not seen an Igbo president for a long time. For years, decades, in fact. So they realized that this won't come. Then they now, started fighting of recent. Okay, let's say 14, 15 years back. They started pushing the narrative that Christians are being killed. And the reason why they are doing this is they want someone powerful to invade the country. These guys would do anything just to gain their independence, even if it means the destruction of Nigeria, as long as we would gain our independence. And we've seen these guys say these things. They don't really care. In fact, they call Nigeria a zoo country. Mirroring what Donald Trump said. The now disgraced country. This is what Donald Trump said in one of his posts when he threatened Nigeria. And in fact, for some of you that don't know, this is the same person that called Africa a shithole.
In 2018, Donald Trump, in his first term as US president, made headlines for his allegedly unsavory description of Haiti and Africa as whole countries.
And you really think this guy cares about Christians in Nigeria? No, we know what's happening. Okay, we know the United States is falling apart. We know that, the United States debt is on all-time high. We know all these things. We know the United States is losing relevance in the eyes of the people. And they want to gain this back. They want wealth for their own benefit, for their security. And where can they get this? Nigeria is there. But we can't just go to Nigeria and harvest this, take this thing to ourselves. We have to create a problem, then go in the name of solving this problem. Remember, recently they exposed themselves, saying that they are the sponsors of Boko Haram. They are the ones sponsoring these people.
Because your money Your money, $697 million annually, plus the shipments of cash funds madrasas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, ISIS Khorasan, terrorist training camps. That's what it's funding.
So now, if you Christians claim that these people are killing you, and then you're now calling the United States to come save you, you see, they finally succeeded. They created a problem. Then you're now calling them. You would never see a Muslim calling and shouting on top of their voice the United States or the United Nations or any European country to come save them from this so-called terrorist or something. So this is why I said we have a lot of dumb people here.